Hello, PC fam. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Whatever time it is where you are, we international. We are here on this beautiful Saturday just to talk some ball with y'all. You know how we do. Chill. How you living? How's this weekend going for you?
Going good, brother. Going good. I always look forward to Saturdays. Always look forward to Saturday chill with chills. This is a different energy on Saturday. And like I talked about a couple of days ago, it's closer now to the playoffs. So and we got some good action going on. Feeling good, Ox. Feeling real good, brother. Real good.
No doubt. Chill. Today in the player's choice, arena, just in general. Yep. We got some big things going on today. I want to start the show off by reminding all the viewers to don't be late today. Today is the first round of the PCL. The very first round of the second season of the PCL, March Madness edition. Today is the round of 32. Y'all do not be late. I know y'all notification bells is already on, so I know you guys are aware of this. I'm just giving you a reminder myself. Don't be late today. I'm battling today. I got the last match of the day. Chill. You're not till tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow night. I got the last match at 6:00.
Tomorrow night, y'all can catch Chill. Today, I will be on. I'm going against my man Matty Ice. Chill got Mike the Champ. So y'all make sure to check us out this weekend in the second season of the PCL. March Madness. Chill. How you feel about the PCL this year? You coming for that belt?
Well, you figure it got expanded this year, which means it's more guys. That can mean two different things. One, it's either better competition or it's watered down. But I'm prepared. I'm definitely prepared. Last year I lost in the semifinals. So this year, I mean, I was a game away from getting to the finals. And I lost in the semifinals. So I'm feeling good about it, yo. This thing has become a bigger deal. And to answer your question, Ox, yes, I didn't get in it just because I ain't got nothing else to do. No, I'm trying to win it. I'm 100% trying to win it. I was in the semifinals last year. I'm trying to be in the finals this year and see if I can pull it off.
Yeah, man. My son was actually helping me prepare yesterday. He told me let's debate Jason Tatum versus Scottie Pippen because Jason Tatum's his favorite. Jason Tatum's his new favorite player, so he had me at Scottie.
I like that.
He did pretty good helping me prepare. I think last year, honestly, I think I got a little too cocky. I think I was just feeling myself a little too much. They threw gifted at me the first round of tournament play, and he packed me up. But they sleeping on me right now, Chill. But I'm not. I'm not nothing to sleep on. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see today.
When we get in the tournament, first and foremost, if it's a one-game elimination, I'm not walking into the tournament with the this dude is a walk in the park attitude. I'm walking in the tournament like I could get bounced. So I'm ready. So your ass better be ready too. That's my attitude. Well, I don't care who I'm going up against. I'm in the tournament. My attitude is I'm ready to rock and roll. You better be ready to rock and roll too.
Right, no
That's
doubt.
me.
Well, shout out to all 32 contestants in the PCL. Shout out to y'all because I know y'all gonna be there holding us down live in the chat, watching, giving your 2 cents, and just all around enjoying the PCL. The guys, Ron, JD, Dave, Claire, everybody that had part in creating the PCL, man. Shout out to y'all and thanks for just keeping it going, man. But in other news, let's talk about these Dallas Mavericks.
Damn.
I mean, between Kyrie and Omax had the season-ending injuries.
Both of them dudes out.
Yeah, they're out of there. You got Anthony Davis, Derek Lively, and Daniel Gafford. This is your whole front court.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Anthony Davis, Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford. They're unclear on when they're returning. I'm pretty sure Anthony Davis is done for the season, regardless of what his health status is. And now Dante Exum, I believe he broke his hand. If I'm not mistaken. Broke his hand. He's sidelined. What's happening in Dallas? Has Nico set a curse on the franchise because they traded their franchise player, or what's happening?
I think that this is tearing it down to build it back up because we got a peek at what it could look like when Anthony Davis got in the lineup with Irv, with Gafford. We didn't see Lively yet, but we got a sneak peek of what it could look like. Now, one or two things could happen there. I could show this to you and then take it away from you and go, this is what it could have been. But because you traded this dude, or it could be a preview. This is what it could be. And if we take care of ourselves, this is what it could be, and we can move forward with this. Now, remember, Ox, I said that this kind of reminded me of the Curse of the Bambino. But I don't want to say that the Dallas Mavericks are cursed through and through, off the strength that this team, the way it's built to win. This isn't a team that got torn down. You know, you traded your franchise player, and now we're basically just destitute. No, the guys that we have, if we're healthy, this team has a really good shot in the Western Conference, a damn good shot in the Western Conference. So this isn't like a team.
I'm sorry, sir. I hate when I do this, but I have to. I got to stop you right there real quick because this is a chance for a history lesson. Sure. You said the Curse of the Bambino. I'm not sure if everybody knows what the Curse of the Bambino is and how that came about. Would you mind just giving a quick rundown about that, and then we get right back to the Mavericks?
The Red Sox in the early 1900s were rolling with Babe Ruth, right? They're rolling with Babe Ruth, but kind of similar to what's going on with Luka. You know how, Luka's fat, Luka's out of shape, Luka doesn't compete on defense. That was kind of the logic going on with Babe Ruth back then. You can find Babe Ruth in the after-hour spot. Babe Ruth, he turned over a couple every once in a while. Babe Ruth was getting in car accidents and stuff like that. And the Red Sox at one point, they had just gotten fed up with it. I was like, you know what? Maybe we can just move off of this guy. Well, they end up trading him to the Yankees. They trade him to the Yankees for a bucket of extra crispy and a six-pack, just so you guys know. They just handed him over to the Yankees. The Yankees go on to win the World Championship 27 times. It took the Red Sox 86 years. It took the Red Sox 86 years to win the World Series again. 86, which goes back to what we talked about in the past. Like, there's things that you don't do in sports. There's things that you don't do. And I immediately started thinking about, did the Dallas Mavericks curse themselves, or is Nico a genius? One of those two things is going on, Ox. Either Nico is a genius or they completely screwed this thing up all the way around. Because if I look at the way that this roster is built and the way that the NBA is trending with the two big man lineup, with an elite with two elite defenders on the front line, you got your dynamic guard, you got great rotation players. That's which way the NBA is. That's the way the NBA is trending with Cleveland, right? With Cleveland, with Oklahoma City, you got your two big guys. Now with Dallas, with both Anthony Davis and Lively. So you have that going on. Either Nico Harrison is a genius, or this thing is going to crash and burn, and we're never going to hear from him again, ever. But this is just, I think this is really just unfortunate right now, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I don't know. I'm trying to stay optimistic because I just don't want the Mavericks to crash and burn. You know what I mean? I've always liked the Mavericks franchise, and I would hate to think that there would be any, I don't know, any collusion behind the scenes. This.
That was going on, Ox. The collusion was going on. Like, you don't just get Luka out the blue. No, we've been talking about this for quite some time now. This isn't something where I just called up Rob Pelinka and was like, hey, Luka's available. How you feel about him? No, that was not going on. No. This we had been talking for months, and finally the deal ended up getting it got done, but it didn't get done in the fashion that everybody would like for it to get done. And on top of that, Ox, which makes it worse. It's not like Dallas was whack, right? And Dallas was on the other side, and they got this franchise player who's young, who's awesome. Where, no, Dallas was doing great. And the fact that they're doing great, and you got this young player who's one of the 5 best players in the game, to trade him, it looked really crazy. But to be honest with you, I did see the vision with Nico. I did.
Yeah, I just what I mean more so is I just hope there was no funny business. Like, I hope they did it in good faith and not trying to tear down, because you keep hearing the rumors about the whole casino thing and all that, and I'm not buying into the fact that they're trying to move the Mavericks. Like, that just the Dallas Mavericks aren't going anywhere. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't
Like
think so.
I just don't like those type of talks. So I just hope there was, once again, just no funny business, nothing fishy. I hope it was all in good faith and that Nico was on the up and up. And rather they won the trade today or lost the trade in the future or however, vice versa. I just hope that he had good intentions with the move. You know what I mean? That's more so what I'm saying.
And it seems like he does. If you look at the layout of this team, it seems like, and I understand, guys like Mark Cuban's attitude. You don't trade the modern day iPhone for an older iPhone, which is still really good and is not going to have much life left. But the way that Nico, I think the way Nico is looking at this as a businessman in terms of winning, he looked at Luka with the attitude, I don't think we can win with him. And what it's going to cost us in the long run to pay him just doesn't make sense fiscally. And that's my job as a general manager too, Ox. It's not my job just to put a championship team on the floor and win. No, it's also my job to make sure that I do it within the budget and I don't put us in cap hell, which is bugging me out on how the Phoenix Suns general manager still has a job. I don't understand.
Right. And you know what? With that being said, with Mark Cuban, I've always liked Mark Cuban and everything, but there were bad decisions made when he was in charge too.
He did not do everything right. No, he didn't.
Right. And and I'm not sure if he was making the basketball decisions the whole entire time. I don't know all of that, but they did have Steve Nash with Dirk Nowitzki at the time. You know what I mean? And they did let him go. So I mean,
don't leave out. They let Tyson Chandler walk out the front door too. Don't leave that out. The defensive player of the year, they let him walk out the front door. They let Jalen Brunson walk out the front door. I mean,
that was Nico though, right?
Yeah, you didn't do everything correct. And here's the thing: even if that was Nico, this is the same Mark Cuban who said that if he found out that Luka was getting traded, he would have put the kibosh on it. Well,
right.
You were around when Jalen Brunson. You were the owner of the Mavs when Jalen Brunson just got his bags and just walked out the front door. You allowed that. So you're not going to allow Nico to trade Luka, but you're going to let Jalen Brunson walk out the front door to the Knicks for a little bit of money. Yeah. You didn't do everything right, Coach. You did not. No.
And that's just my thing. Let's not act like even the best of GMs don't make mistakes.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
On to other news. Speaking of franchises making mistakes or doing underhanded things, we know the Utah Jazz just got a fine, $100,000 fine. I think it should have been more. I think when you're tampering with things like this and just obviously tanking and things like that, I think there needs to be a heftier fine. If you want to tank and get one of these better players, it's going to cost you. That's how I think it should be. I think $100,000 is too light. I think it should be at least $500,000 for those type of things. But what has been reported on the Pat McAfee show is that the NBA is now looking at the Philadelphia 76ers. Do you think there'll be some fines for them as well?
No.
No.
Off the strength that they just beat up anyway. But I want to rewind back to what you just got finished talking about with the Utah Jazz. Ox, you got a little man, and he loves Lauri Markkanen. Right. And Lauri Markkanen is coming to Portland. I mean, the Jazz are coming to Portland. You've been planning this out for months. This isn't something where you just decided that day that, they're coming to Portland and let's go get some tickets. No, you want to surprise your little man. The Jazz are coming. You got the tickets 2 months ago. Got some good seats, ready to go. Turns out on Saturday night, Lauri Markkanen is a scratch. We came here specifically to see you, right? We came here specifically to see you. And by the way, not only is he a scratch, he's a healthy scratch. That's the worst part about this. He's not just a scratch where, he's got an ankle injury, he's got a shoulder injury that he's had for quite a while. No, he's a healthy scratch. We are asking guys to come to work when they are available to come to work. What the hell are we doing, Ox? Why am I asking you to come to work when you're available? That's part of your job. Bring your ass to work. And I said this to you before, Ox. I've said this to you before in the past. These players need to hold these ownerships and hold these teams accountable. Because if I'm available and they're sitting me out, I'm putting that out there. Ox, I can play tonight. I'm a healthy scratch. I want you guys to know that it's not me that's sitting down. They decided to sit me down. It wasn't me who I'm hurt or anything like that. No, it's them. So I think that 500,000 might be a little bit hefty. I'm good with about 250, but I'm good with about 250 and a warning. And when I say a warning, Ox, is I'm about to start taking draft picks away. I am. This happens after the third time this happens. I need to see one of them first round draft picks, because what I shouldn't have to do is I shouldn't have to demand. This isn't something that I should have to worry about. You coming to work. If you're if you're a healthy scratch, you have the day off. That's different. Okay, not a healthy scratch. Let me rephrase that, Ox. If you are a scratch where you're injured, that's different. But if you are available, why aren't you coming to work? These guys don't practice nearly as much as they used to years ago. That's in the CBA. They don't practice nearly as much as they used to. On top of them not practicing as much as they used to, they have more days off. You have less back-to-backs. You still have an 82-game schedule. You have less back-to-backs. You have a world-class training staff to have you ready to go whenever you're supposed to play. So the fact that I'm getting scratched healthy in, I don't know, March, why am I not playing? Yeah, Ox, I'm thinking 250,000. Maybe it increases if you keep this up. And by the way, this doesn't reset itself after. If you do this again next season, you're still on the hook. Just so you know, your record doesn't get expunged. No, that doesn't.
We got rollovers.
No, your record does not get this rolls up, because this is a pattern. I'm not trying to hear this. No, I'm not trying to hear this. No.
You run a tight ship.
No, your record does not get expunged in this. And the reason why your record does not get expunged in this is because of exactly what I just said. My man right here, he's got a son who loves Laurie marketing, and he wants to see him. And this is the only time that I could take him.
Chill. I mean, if you remember, I used to kind of be a little lenient with some players sitting out and stuff. I always thought you should do it at home as opposed to on the road. But that actually happened to me in the 23 season, where we were in Portland and went to the Clippers game against the Trailblazers. And mind you, we bought the tickets in around my birthday in October for the game to be in January, but it was tickets for me, my girl, my son, and my daughter. And we had good seats. It cost us about $1,300 all together just to go see. And Kawhi didn't play. Paul George didn't play.
See what I'm talking about?
John Wall didn't. John Wall was on the team at the time. John Wall didn't play. Damian Lillard didn't play. And it was Norman Powell versus Jeremy Grant. It was still a good game, but I came to see Kawhi.
That's not what you came. That's not what you paid for, Ox. That is not what you paid for. You paid. There's a reason why you bought them tickets in October. You bought them tickets because you saw Leonard's name on a moniker. You saw Paul George's name on a moniker. You saw all of these dudes' names on a moniker. And after seeing them, now you guys don't show up. No, I'm good. No, that does not happen. Like I said, especially if this is a pattern, you want to send it. I feel like a message to be sent. I feel like there is a message to be sent. If this isn't something that happens over the course of let's say 3 years, Ox. All right, so the Utah Jazz, they end up getting fined for this. So next year, we don't have anything. A year after that, we don't have anything. The year after that, we don't have anything. Okay, we can scratch this now. All right, but if we have this year. And then again next year, yes, this is a reoccurring theme. Yes, 100%. This is a reoccurring theme, and it definitely needs to roll over. Yes, 100% it does.
Yeah, we got a super chat from the Tribe One. Tribe One says, so players play less because owners don't want to pay money for players that miss big in important chunks of the season. Never been a player issue.
I don't know if So players play less because owners don't want to pay money for players that miss big and important chunks in the season. Never been a player issue. I don't know if I understand you. I don't.
So I think you're saying that this is just all on the team, basically just in a roundabout way, saying that the teams are the ones sitting out the players because they don't want to pay them money. But don't they still have to pay them?
They have to pay them anyway. I'm already under contract, which goes back to my original logic that I don't want as a player for this to be on me. If I'm available and they're sitting me out, if I'm available and they're sitting me out, you guys need to know that I am available. Yes. Because here's the thing. You just mentioned, Ox, $100,000. I'm still getting paid anyway. So whether I play or not, I'm still going to get paid. So now if I don't play, you're sitting me out. Now you got to pay an extra $100,000 because you're under investigation, which is something that I didn't want. I'm available to go. I can play. 100% I can play.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think the players need to start speaking up on that. If they're literally honestly not the ones that are wanting to sit, if management for any reason is saying no, you can't play and this and that, then I think players need to speak up and be a little more vocal about that. You know what I mean? Because they are getting the short end of the stick if that is the case. Because from the outside looking in, we're seeing players not sitting down, and we're like, oh, are we seeing players sitting down and we're just surface value, like, oh, well, he doesn't want to play. You know what I mean? And if that's not the case, then that's just wrong.
Right.
Yeah, that's wrong. I hear you, Max. Can't be putting family business out there, but if the family is just screwing you over and over again, at some point you got to put your foot down.
You can be putting you can put family business out there if it's in the street that something is not true. Yes, once it gets out, it ain't family business no more. If it's family business if it stays in house. If it gets out, it ain't family business no more. Now it's in the street, and now it has to get cleaned up. No. If we keep this right here, now it stays family business. So and to Mad Max, okay, first of all, no, we didn't make it about 6-0. No, we didn't, sir. Because if we made it about 6-0, then why is Jabbar not the GOAT? So no, we didn't make it about 6-0. So let's kill that logic right now. That's not true. That's not true at
all. In other news, let's talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're on quite the run right now, and they've won the last 12 games that Julius Randle has suited up in. So, is the Julius Randle being a detriment to the team thing a myth, or are they just winning in spite of Julius?
I just think that I think that we have an issue. I have an issue. I particularly have an issue with players who are good players, damn good players, being treated like elite players, like the upper echelon of players. That's my issue. I never thought that Julius Randle was a top 5 player or a top 10 player or a top 15 player. I've never thought that, ever. So because I've never thought that, I don't treat him like that. However, I've thought that at some point Julius Randle was a top 25 player. That's how I treated him. And he's had his playoff failures, and so have other guys. But we don't treat these guys like that. We treat Julius Randle like he's just less than. Julius Randle is a damn good player. But, which goes back to my original logic, Ox, when I talked to you about by year 5, this is probably who this guy is. Julius Randle, I think since he's been back in the lineup, he's 19-7. I think in year 5, Julius Randle was 19-10. That was probably who he is. Now, you got some better seasons later, but all right, this is what you expect. So Julius Randle getting back in the lineup, you're getting back who Julius Randle is. And it's helping the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's helping them a lot. They now have another scorer. Not only do they have another scorer, their secondary scorers back in the lineup. They got another rebounder. No, he's not great on defense, but there's a bunch of different guys who aren't great on defense neither, right? So he's not great on defense, but he can play. Not only can he play, he helps them win games. There's a reason why they're undefeated with him in the lineup. That's not just by osmosis. That's not just by chance. Now, if he was just a detriment always, they wouldn't be winning. And they clearly need him in order to make some strides. Here's the problem that we're having, though, Ox. I mean, I think they're 12-0. The problem is that the Golden State Warriors, who are ahead of them, they only lost 1 game. They're 13-1, right? They're Houston's rolling. So there's really not an opportunity to make up some ground. Now the Lakers are kind of helping out because they've lost their last 4 games, but the other 2 teams in front of Minnesota, that's not really helping them. So it kind of goes by the wayside to make them look like, okay, they're bad because they're in 7th place. No, they're actually really good. It's just that the other teams ahead of them, they're rolling too, and they know that they can't give up any ground. This team has been much better defensively. I think Julius Randle, in the 7 games that he's been back, he's been a plus. I think 5 of the 7 games that he's been back. I think he's averaging 6 assists, one of the better distributors in the game as a big. I already know who Anthony Edwards is in terms of a bucket getter. He's looking better as a passer in the pick and roll and in the pick and dive. He is getting better at that, which I really like. On top of that, this Minnesota team with getting Rudy back, who I'm a little skeptical because I feel like he does slow them down, but I do think that there's a role for him. There's no way that you have a defensive big that's that good that you can't find minutes for. No way. But with that being said, I feel like with him back in the lineup, with Ant playing the way he is, with Julius Randle now back in the lineup, with DiVincenzo looking great, I think this team's going to be trouble, Ox. Don't think for 1 second, like if the playoffs started today and they had to see Memphis in round one, if they had to see Houston in round one, them dudes got trouble. Yeah, those guys got real trouble.
I mean, with that being said, the Golden State Warriors and the Timberwolves, they're both 16 games behind. So they're both, I guess, so it's a tie for 6th right now between them, Golden State and Minnesota. So we'll see in this last stretch of the season who's going to get that 6th spot and who's going to end up in the play-in.
Yep.
Like you said, Golden State's rolling, but so is Minnesota. I think Julius Randle, like I've said for a long time, he's definitely been getting the short end of the stick on most of these situations. But playoff time's right on the corner, so he'll get the chance to prove himself. So we'll see. MP13 has a super chat pertaining to this. He says Randle admittedly is playing better, but they are on a really weak stretch of their schedule. Two things can be true. It's a bit of both.
And it is a bit of both. And I think that the fact that they're on a weak part of their schedule, MP, that could go two ways. They could be on a weak part of their schedule and they're losing. So, like you just said, two things can be true, but we can't have it both ways neither. Because if this weak part of their schedule they was on and they were losing, you'd say that they suck, right? So the fact that they're rolling right now, even though they're on a weak part of their schedule, you beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. So I think it's real. I think it's really important to recognize that, because if this really weak part of their schedule, they were 500. Oh, this Minnesota team is whack. But the fact that they're rolling right now, well, they're on a weak part of their schedule. Nah, it can't be that. No, I do think that beating the teams that you're supposed to beat, I think that means something.
Right. Definitely. I mean, yeah, there's definitely something to that. If you only beat the weak teams, and we can see that. But I don't think that's necessarily the case for Minnesota. I think they've been tested. Yeah, but we'll definitely see about that. Let me see. I'm putting the link in there, so y'all go ahead, click on that link and get ready. We're gonna get to the lobby here in a bit. In the meantime, let's get through the rest of these super chats real quick. We got another one from MP13. Says, you think the players are open to lowering the max money they can receive if the league could find a way to provide high-end health care to retired players? I know that's something they want to tackle.
No. You can find another way to provide high-end health care to retired players without sacrificing max money, because this is a multi-billion-dollar business, and retirement plans, high-end healthcare to retired players is something that, for all intents and purposes, is necessary. And on the one hand, you can say, we're not responsible for these guys. And what I'm, and by the way, MP, I'm talking to you right now. I'm talking to you as a capitalist. You worked for me for all of these years. I paid you handsomely. I'm not responsible for you anymore. What you did with your money, that's a you thing, right? That's the capitalist. That's his attitude. On the flip side to that, the consumer, or people like us, the everyday people, are thinking, well, damn, I played I played all these years for you. I did all of this for your franchise. Now I can't. I'm 42 years old, and I got foot problems, and I can't really walk that well. Is there any way that am I ridiculous to think that I can't be taken care of? I understand that part too, but there's other ways to capitalize on that. There's other ways to maximize that. And I can tell you right now, players are not interested, because, again, we live in a very selfish society, very much so. So there's no way that there's, especially as young as the league is, there's no way that these guys are looking at, I don't know, if I played 12 years in the NBA and I was a rotation player, and I'm 52 years old and I got back problems. You think that Jalen Green cares about me? No, Jalen Green cares about getting max bread. Jalen Green does not care about me. He does not care about debt left shrimp. No, he doesn't. No way.
I think there are some guys that do. I think guys that are forward thinking guys, like for instance, you said Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown is one of those forward thinking guys that would be like, you know what, we need to figure out a way to be taken care of when we're 55, 60, 65, 70. You know what I mean? I think CJ McCollum, Chris Paul, those type of guys, I think they're the ones that could do that. With that being said, though, I think a lot of guys are like, man, we get paid so much money. That they're not going to be willing to take less. I think a lot of people are short-sighted, where it's like, nah, I'm cool. I'm rich. I'll be fine when I get older. I'm going to do this. And some people will be, and some people mess up their money. There's people out there that have made hundreds of $millions, and they're going to be broke by the time they're 45. You know what I mean? That's just the realities of the situation. I think there should be some type of option in contracts. I don't know how that will work out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not privy to how that works, but I think there should be some type of options and contracts where I could take less and put it in a fund or something like that. But I also think that as athletes need to start figuring out ways to look into the future, start figuring out ways to be more self-reliant and figure out things to do with this money to be able to secure my future and stop just living for tomorrow. But I guess that's a conversation for them to have with their representation, their family, their vets. You know what I mean? However it happens, I just don't believe that the majority of NBA players in particular are going to be willing to take any less money for any reason.
Well, remember too, Ox, once you get to a point where, okay, this is now the precedent. I mean, we can't go backwards. So if Ox is signed to a 4-year deal for $80 million, Ox, you 27 years old, your next deal isn't going to be 4 years at $70 million or $60 million, 27, because you want to make sure that at 55 or 60 years old, you're not thinking that at 27 years old. You're thinking, I'm trying to maximize my earning power right now. That's all I want to do. Now, of course, now as time goes on, you start to realize, all right, I'm not going to be able to do this forever, and I got to take care of my money, which would explain why 5 years after players retire, and this isn't just in pro basketball, this is in pro sports, 5 years after they retire, they're broke. Because you're so used to living that lifestyle. And when that money starts to slow down and when that money starts to dwindle, okay, now these guys have found themselves in a different space where, well, you know, how did I invest my money? Who did I give my money to? Is this house necessary? Is this car necessary that I paid $150,000 for? You know, stuff like that ends up happening. And, you know, these guys are so young that they don't know any better. But I don't think that the majority of these guys, there are some guys, like you said, that will be willing to do this, but I doubt that there'll be guys more. I doubt the majority of the guys, young guys, would be willing to do that.
Right. Yeah, you know, well, this is something that I think maybe they should start thinking about, maybe having these type of conversations amongst each other. And mind you, they might be. I'm once again, I'm just not privy to that. But yeah, I mean, that's a serious situation. Now that we're already in this topic, on my mind just racing. I'm thinking like, man, it's got to be crazy, because I don't think people understand, depending on where you live, but property taxes are serious. You know what I mean? Property taxes are serious. You know, people are spending $200,000 a month in just bills and things like that, just expenses. And so when that contract is up, that they still need that $200,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? You could be broke in 3 years off of something like that. Yes. You know what I mean? So I just really want the NBA, and I'm sure some franchises are, and I'm sure some organizations are, but I want them to really start sitting down with these young fellas when they get drafted and explaining to them how money works and letting them know, like, man, you can do this with your money. You don't got to go buy that $10 million mansion right now. You know what I'm saying? Chill out. You know what I mean? Right. You know, all your boys don't need Benzes. You know what I'm saying?
No, like, not a last one of them. No, not all of them.
Relax, man. You know,
you can buy your homeboy one. The dude you grew up with, like, all right, me and him, we've been tight since the 5th grade. Okay, him, that's cool. But your whole crew, nah, that's not necessary.
Yeah, every girl don't need a Birkin. You know what I'm saying? So
no, Ox.
Whatever.
I just met her. Damn, I just met this chick and I'm already buying her a $1,200 bag. No, I don't think so.
With that being said, I guess some people feel like those are good problems. I don't have those issues. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have those issues. You know what I mean? So
Bad problem.
that's whatever, man. But shout out to those guys, and shout out to anybody that's thinking forward and is ready to, implement some things to help out after retirement.
Yeah.
Speaking of moving forward, James Harden has just got to the list, number 12 all-time scoring. What does that mean for James Harden?
Ox, I want to make sure I heard you correctly. Did you just say that he's right outside the top 10 all-time in NBA history in points? Is that what I just heard you say? I just want to make sure I heard you correctly.
Yes, and I mean it makes sense. Sure, the guy averaged 36 a season, averaged 33. I mean the guy he's known for scoring the basket.
He is a bucket getter.
So I'm surprised that I was surprised when I saw this. You know what I mean? When I saw this, I was like, damn. And I was like, well, wait a second. That's what he does. You know what I'm saying? They were guarding this guy from the back because they were trying to figure out how to stop him from scoring. This is one of the most prolific scorers we've ever seen.
Right. And by next season, I think if the season ended today, he's, I think, a little bit over 1,300 points behind Carmelo Anthony for 10th all time. That's where he is. So by next season, he'll crack the top 10 all time, right? And
he'll crack Moses Malone in the next 3 or 4 games.
If he continues to do what he's doing, he should be in the top 10 by next year, which I think that speaks volume about James Harden as a scoring machine. I mean, I think that there's people who talk about him, but I think that what we do is we talk a lot about a guy's skill set and how awesome a guy is with his ball handling, his ability to get to the rim, his ability to score around the basket, play in traffic, which is something that James Harden was elite at, something that he could do with the best of them. I think he changed the game from a standpoint of one-on-one guys. But I think what gets thrown by the wayside is being able to do something like that for a long time. I don't think that we talk enough about being able to be an elite scorer for years and years. Like, it's one thing to do it for 2 years. It's one thing to do it for 5 years, to do it for a decade, to do it for 12 years where I'm just awesome. That's very difficult, especially with a guy like James Harden, who was known at that time for showing up. Like, James Harden wasn't particularly conscious about taking care of his body. James Harden was one of those guys who just got himself in shape during the season, which would explain why, he kind of ran out of gas at the end. But, his skill set is so unique. I've said this to you countless times, Ox. People don't understand how difficult it is to cover a left-hander. Like, covering lefties is really difficult to do. And James Harden, with the skill set that he has, how nice he is with the ball, the kind of space that he creates, and the fact that he's 6'5". Like, James Harden is not a 6'1" or 6'2" dude. He's 6'5", 220. That's not a small dude. That's a big dude.
Right.
That is a huge guy. And,
can we get 3 more seasons out of James?
I think you can get 2, no question. I'm confident you can get 2.
The reason I'm asking about 3, Chill, is because James Harden has 8,100 assists, and basically 8,200 assists.
Are you saying, can we get to 10,000? Is that what you're asking?
Can James Harden end up in the 30 and 10 club?
10,000, man. That's that. So 82 games in an 82-game season, which James Harden, he's been pretty durable throughout the course of his career. So over the next 3 years, if I got 240 games out of him and I got 8 assists a game, I think what is he averaging, 7 right now? Yeah, I think he's averaging 7 assists right now. If over the next 3 years of the next 240 games, I don't think he's going to hold up, Ox.
Yeah. Let's say he plays 60 games. 60 games averaging 7.
Right. So that's 180 games over the next 3 years. That's
420 each a season.
400 assists. That's 1,200 assists.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. I don't think so.
No. Okay. I'm reaching for it, man. That would be amazing. And you know what? I'm kind of shocked. I'm sleep on the fact that James Harden probably gets to 30,000 points. I didn't even think about that until this morning. Like,
yes,
wow. And I know James Harden's a scoring machine, so I'm confused on how I'm shocked by this right now.
Which we'll have to have a different conversation about him, because if he gets to 30,000 points, so 30,000 points in a league MVP, all of the dudes that's in the 30,000 point club have won the league MVP. So he would be in the same company. So the only thing he would be missing is an NBA championship, because James, Jordan, Jabbar, Chamberlain, Russell, Dirk, these are 30,000 point guys.
Yep, KD.
KD have all won the league MVP. So he would be in that thing. He would be in that space.
Yeah.
And the only thing he would be missing is an NBA championship. That's it.
Right. And I mean, and I'm looking at Kevin Durant. He probably won't catch KD because KD's still playing too. So
Yep.
I mean, KD's facing Wilt right now. So man, yeah, that's crazy, man. That's shout out to James Harden though. He's definitely a pure bucket getter.
Yep.
And nobody can deny that. Nobody can deny that. Speaking of bucket getters though, Chill, the bucket getter in the NBA right now has fallen in the MVP ladder. We have a new updated MVP ladder, and it's led by none other than Nikola Jokic.
Yes.
We got Jokic at 1, SGA at 2, Giannis at 3, JT 4, Donovan Mitchell 5, Steph Curry at 6, Evan Mobley at 7.
I'm interested in talking
about Evan Mobley at 7. LeBron James has dropped to 8, Cade Cunningham at 9, Jalen Brunson at 10. Let's talk about Evan Mobley for a second. Number 7 in the MVP race.
Well, immediately the time that we live in, we're so focused on bucket getters. Scoring is prevalent in the game today. Everybody cares about dudes being bucket getters. When you have a guy who is as versatile as Evan Mobley is on your team, and he does what he does on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball, he makes your team so much more valuable. He makes your team so much more potent, which entails what a valuable player is. He's a glass cleaner. I think he's the best defensive player in the game. I think he's the defensive player of the year, if I'm being honest with you. If the season ended today and the votes got tallied up, I think that you have the defensive player of the year in Cleveland in Evan Mobley. One of the better. I think he's the best switch defender in the game. That includes Bam. That includes Anthony Davis. That includes those two guys. I think he's the best switch defender in the game. I think he's one of the most versatile defenders in the game, if not the most versatile defender in the game. I will give you the rim protection from guys like Anthony Davis, guys like Wemby. I'll give you that in terms of shot blockers, but I don't think he's that far off from those guys. Then I want you to couple in him being able to now stretch the defense. He's much more confident at the long ball line. When I got a big at that size, at 6'11", 7 feet, that's confident at stretching the defense, and he can put the ball on the floor, he makes our offense even more potent. On top of that, he's one of the best screeners in the game, which would explain why the Cavs got the best pick and dive offense in the league. In fact, not only do they have the best pick and dive offense in the league, they got the best offense in the league, and that's largely due to Evan Mobley. From putbacks, from lobs to Jared Allen, because I think that chemistry between him and Jared Allen is fantastic. So I can see why he's in the top 10 in league MVP votes. Now, does that mean that he's going to win it and we put him in the same category with SGA and with Joker? It's only a two-man race, if we're being honest. But the fact that he's recognized as one of the better players in the game, I got him as an All-Pro this year, Ox. I 100% believe he's going to make the All-Pro team this year.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely he's going to be All-Pro for sure. Yep. You know what? We should get to that All NBA list maybe Thursday. Let's start getting to that. Yeah, man. As far as that's the 7. As far as the top of the list, Coach, are you on board with this? Are you on board with Jokic passing up SGA? Has he done enough in the past couple weeks?
I feel like what Joker has done in terms of his game and his numbers, I mean, I really don't think that it's a question in terms of just the numbers. And Joker isn't compared to other players in the NBA. That's why he didn't win the league MVP in 23. That's why he might not win it this year. I think SGA is going to win it, but he's compared to himself. And because he's compared to himself, I think that's unfair, because if you look at what's going on in the landscape of the NBA, compare these guys who win the league MVP, compare them to their counterparts. What these other guys have been doing. SGA, for all intents and purposes, I think he's the consummate MVP. When I think about what's been going on in the league this year, the fact that Joker has the all-time great numbers, I mean, it's only 2 other guys that was doing what SGA was doing. That's Jordan and Dwayne Wade, 35-5, 2 steals and a block. That's only 2 other guys who did that. Jordan and Dwayne Wade. And Jordan won the league MVP. And by the way, he's on the best defense in the league. I'm sure you guys saw what happened on Saturday. I'm sure you guys saw what happened on Tuesday night, like I did, how difficult it was for them to get anything going on in Boston. And that was largely due to that defense in Oklahoma City. And SGA had a lot to do with that, getting in the passing lanes. We have no question about SGA as a defender. Yeah, Ox, I know how you feel about him as a foul baiter. Yes, I can definitely dig it, Ox. It could be a little corny sometimes. Yes, at that part, I will not argue. It can be. But the other stuff that he does in terms of that team, in terms of a bucket getter, 2 of their starters were out on Tuesday against the Celtics, and how much they rely on him to do what he does and for him to deliver like he does in the fashion that he delivers. You can't talk him off of you can't move him off of his pivot. And the Oklahoma City Thunder are at the top of the NBA in points, not only just in points, in defense. I mean, I feel like that makes him the consummate league MVP. So I don't have a problem with him and Joker jockeying for position. What I just want to make sure that it's fair in the aspect that how you are looking at these two guys. And I think that winning matters, and I think that that's the separator. But with that being said, just a quick side note, Giannis is 30. He is 30-12. I just want to put that out there. He's 30-12-6. Just so y'all know, this is the 3rd year in a row Giannis is averaging 30 a game. In fact, it's the 3rd year in a row Giannis is 30-10. This is the 3rd year in a row that he's doing that. He's 30-12 right now, and he's 3rd in the league in MVP votes, and we're very rarely talking about him. Giannis is the clear cut, in my estimation. I think he's the 2nd best player in the league, and there was a conversation at some point during the season about him and Joker. We don't really talk about Giannis as much as we should because of what's going on between both SGA and Joker. But yes, Giannis is still getting busy, and he needs to be talked about.
I don't understand this. Oh, it's a 2-man race thing when you got Giannis out here. I'm still confused about that. I think people made up their minds on that early in the season, and once people make their minds up on things like that, there's nothing you can say about it. I don't.
Giannis is making it hard, though, Ox. Even though it's a 2-man race, Giannis making it hard. Like you want to check SGA or you want to check Joker, and then you see Giannis's name, like, damn, he's still here, isn't he? Wait a minute. And then you look at his numbers, and then you go, wait a minute. I mean, I know that this is a 2-man race, but is this just a wash between these two guys? When I look at what Giannis has been doing, 31-12, 31-11. Still playing great defense, still being an elite distributor at 6 assists a game, and they might not be winning. That's what I think the separator is between both him and SGA. I think that's where the separator is. But it's the same logic with Joker. Joker is doing something phenomenal. So is Giannis. Is Giannis.
I got. Don't get me wrong. I got SGA as my MVP right now, but I still believe Giannis is the best player in the NBA. So I just want to put that out there.
There's some people who think that too, Ox. That's not something that's a blanket statement. There's some people who think that.
Right. Before we get to the main topic at hand, which is that showdown we seen in the Mile High City last night between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Denver Nuggets, I want to remind y'all to not be late. Today is the round of 32 in the PCL March Madness edition. This is the 2nd season of the PCL, y'all. It's a little different this time. It's 32 of the best debaters on YouTube going at it. Single elimination. You lose, you go home. So you better bring the ruckus. Y'all make sure to be there today. I will be battling today at 3 p.m. Pacific time. That's 6 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow night, you'll check out Showdown. This is the thing, though, y'all. After every game, we will be on playback directly after. For instance, tonight, after my debate, we're going to be on playback watching the Pistons take on, I believe, the OKC Thunder. So y'all make sure to be there. Don't miss it. PCL going down starts today. Definitely. So chill.
Yes, sir.
Let me get the stats all the way right, because what I saw last night from these two fellas was amazing. Chill. It was so crazy that I got caught up in it for about 5-10 minutes there. It was going for the Lakers. I was actively rooting for the Los Angeles Lakers last night.
That says a lot, too, because I
snapped out of it. I snapped out of it like, whoa, what's going on here? No, none of this. But for about 5-10 minutes, I felt like I had a Lakers jersey on. I was full blown, like, let's get it. But that's what basketball will do to you. Man, it was crazy last night. We had Dalton Connect and Austin Reeves. Let me just make sure. Austin Reeves had 37, 8, and 13. 13 assists, 8 rebounds, 37 points, 50% from the field. We had Dalton Connect at 32 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist, 48% from the field. Them two dudes were balling. Shout out to those young fellas. Chill. How did you feel about that game? What did you see? And what do you think about Austin Reeves? And
Ox, well, 2 things, Ox. Well, last night when I'm watching, it reminded me of that 2-14 matchup in the NCAA tournament where, this team was supposed to, like, it was Fairfield against, I don't know, Georgia Tech, or Fairfield against UNC. And North Carolina was supposed to blow these dudes out. Only except we're 5 minutes left in the game and Fairfield is still here. Like, what the hell? It looked to me like last night that they were prepared to play. I don't know if they was prepared to win. They didn't think that they would be in the game that late in the game. But they was definitely there to fight. And what Austin Reeves and Dalton Connect showed me is kind of what's going on in the NBA. Ox, it's a bunch of ballers in the league that we don't know about that are either sitting on somebody's bench or playing a different role and looking at other guys in the league going, if you gave me that chance, I could do that. I'm nice like that. So for the Lakers to be as shorthanded as they were, which, Ox, you as a player, if you know for a fact it's only 7 of us and you ain't coming out the game, you know for a fact that you're going to be on the floor. You're going to play different. You're going to play a lot looser, right? You're going to play more loose. You're going to play with less restrictions. So I can take this shot because your margin of error is a lot larger than somebody else's, as opposed to, if it was 11, 12 guys over here and you had to look over your shoulder and make sure that you did everything right. Well, Dalton Connect knew for a fact, I'm going to be on the floor. Austin Reeves, I got to play all night. So the leash for me is a lot longer. And these dudes took advantage of that. Not only did they take advantage of that, Morris took advantage of that. Goodwin took advantage of that. This team,
Jordan Goodwin played great.
Jordan Goodwin took advantage of that. I felt like Denver looked at the Lakers like eventually they're going to go away. We're just going to squeeze them and choke them out, and because we got Joker, and eventually they're going to go away. What didn't happen is that didn't happen off the strength that they competed at the long ball line. They got out in transition. They attacked those guys in transition. They did everything that they could with Joker, getting switches onto him and being physical with Joker, even though Joker likes to play like that, but being physical with Joker. And Joker found himself, for all intents and purposes, in a dogfight, and was like, oh shit, I gotta fight. I said this to you last night, Ox. There's nothing worse than being in a dogfight, not realizing you're in a dogfight until it's too late. And you're like, oh shit, I gotta fight this dude now. Like I didn't think I had to, but now I really gotta fight this dude because I'm in trouble.
Dude, that's real from real life experience. I don't know if anybody's ever been in a situation like that where something's going on and you just get hit. And you kind of wobbled. I gotta fight this dude now. Yeah, let me get it together. But sometimes you just got to get off first, and I think that's what the Lakers had in mind last night. What I don't like, and what I am not going to subscribe to, is the thought that a championship team was playing down to the level of competition last night, especially from a Lakers team that just got at them not too long ago. Because what I think that a lot of just hoopers know, specifically these NBA guys, that I think a lot of us that are non-NBA guys, I think a lot of regular everyday people don't realize what a lot of NBA players realize. These dudes can go. There's a lot of guys like 7, 8 men on the bench, 9th man on the bench that if they had these minutes, they'll put it on you.
Yes,
so I'm sure that they're very well aware of that. So while they might have thought, man, well, the Lakers are missing Luka and missing Bron, we should probably win this game, I don't subscribe to the thought process that they were just like, oh, this is nothing. You know what I mean? And I'm happy that the Lakers came out and bought. I'm happy they lost. I'm happy they lost, but it was a great game,
which I was 100% about to get to. Yeah,
and Jamal Murray, that last possession, we were all there. We knew what was going to happen as far as Jamal Murray taking the last second shot. We've seen him do that against the Lakers in the playoffs a couple times and in the regular season. Jamal Murray is a big shot maker. So that last shot, I don't think anybody was shocked by it. Yeah. I just think that's what he does.
Now, I know for a fact, Ox, that you are less, like, you couldn't care less about moral victories. Y'all lost. I don't care. Ox just, that's just who Ox is. No matter how hard you played and you lost. Okay, there is no moral victories. However, there is some sunshine in this, because I'm sure James and Rui and DFS and Luka were looking at this game going, they had their whole crew out there. We had our B and C team out there. They had their whole crew out there. If we get our crew up against their crew, they in trouble. Because the mistakes that they made, our B and C crew, we're not going to make those mistakes. Not nearly as frequent as they are. And on top of that, don't think for 1 second that now you're going to look at us and go, not for 1 second are you going to look at us and go, okay, now we got to play against them. No, we already, to your point, Ox, we coming in the game and we punching you right in the face, because you were sleeping on our B and C team. You didn't swing on them. And you think you're going to swing on us? No, we swinging on you first. So I'm sure that team I'm sure that James and Rui and Luka, all of those guys looked at that game last night with encouragement, like, yo, we might be able to beat them dudes. If they couldn't handle our B and C team, they were in a dogfight with our B and C team. What can we do against them?
Right. I'm sure that's how they're looking at it, and I think it was
a great game last night. Great game.
It was good. It was good. I once again, Chill, I mean, you were there. Yeah, I was halfway a Lakers fan for like 10 minutes.
So I was actually surprised. I was about to basketball. I was almost about to talk to you. Like, Ox, what are you doing? What's going on, brother? Because Ox is like, get it to Reeves. Reeves, you open, take him. I'm like, wait a minute, Ox, do I need to go get you a Laker jersey? You all right, brother? Hold on for a second, my man. What's going on?
Oh man,
I just thought that I thought they did a great job in attacking Denver. I thought they did a great job in utilizing mismatches. Early on, it didn't look like that, right? It was a lot of standing around. It was a lot of guys who just looked unsure of each other. But then what it reminds me of a boxer, kind of like Rocky. What I mean when I say that is, Ox, that I'm really not sure that I should be in this ring with this dude. But then we get to like round 7, round 8, and I'm still here. And I'm throwing punches. And I got this guy on his heels. Well, now we're in a fight. So they start attacking Denver's mismatches. They start attacking Joker. I see more confidence in Morris at the long ball line, wide open. And now we got ourselves a ball game. Denver finds themselves like, oh, shit. Now we got to fight these dudes. And now it's too late.
And Chill, another thing, too, JJ Redick. I'm telling you, I've been saying this since he was almost going to get the job, since it was in talks for him getting the job. JJ Redick's one of those guys that's just arrogant enough to think, I don't need my top guys to beat Nikola Jokic and his Denver Nuggets.
Ox, did he have the battery in them dudes back? I was about to say, did he have the battery pack in them dudes back last night?
You got to remember against Milwaukee, they were down. Austin Reeves in the second unit, they get them within, I think, 12 or 13 points. It's like 6 minutes left. I think everybody thought Luka was done. JJ said, "Come on, Luka. We're not conceding any victories to anybody." You know what I mean? And I love that about JJ Redick. JJ Redick is an intelligent dude. He is an ex-hooper. He knows the X's and O's, but he just got something else about him. He got that old John Wayne movie. He got true grit. I love JJ Redick on any sideline. I do. And I'm not saying he's coach of the year. I'm not saying he's the best coach we've ever seen. He's just my type of coach. That's all. He's just my type of coach. I like that about JJ Redick.
And get rid of that gimmick thing, because this ain't a gimmick. He can coach. Let's get rid of that whole it's a podcast. No, JJ Redick can coach. He know what he's doing. 100% he does. He knows what he's doing.
Before we get to the lobby, Chill, I want to ask you this. As a third option, where does Austin Reeves rank? Do you have a top 5 third options in the NBA? And if you don't have a particular order, that's fine. But I want to see, what is this top 5 third option like in the NBA?
Top 5 third options. That's the guy on the crew. That's the third guy on the crew that's on any given night, like he could get busy. So when I think about when I think about third options, let's see, Mobley, Chet, Aaron Gordon, OG Anunoby, KP from the Celtics. And then it starts to get tricky for me. It does start to get tricky after that, because Austin Reeves, for all intents and purposes, I had guys like I'm thinking about guys like Amen Thompson. I'm thinking about guys like Desmond Bane, and I'm like, I mean, how far away is Austin Reeves from these guys? I mean, how far away is he from Amen Thompson? I mean, I don't think that I don't think that it's clear cut. You know, and I think about the third option.
I thought y'all were tripping last night, chill. I got Austin over me.
He might be, man. If you think about it now, from a defensive standpoint, from an overall impact standpoint, I think that Amen affects the game a lot more in other ways. But from a bucket getter, nah, I don't think that it's a question. No, I do not think that it's a question. So now those are the guys that I was thinking about. Those are the guys that I was thinking about off the top of my head. But the question was he a top 5 third option? And I don't think he's a top 5 third option. It ain't 10 third options in the game better than him, though. Nah.
Right.
It's not.
Can I clear something up, Chill? Because I hear this about myself all the time. I see this about myself in the comments, live comments, comments after the show. I'm not since I like defense, I'm not allowed to choose anybody over anybody that plays defense. Right. I particularly do like basketball players that play defense, but that's not the only part of the game. Just like when people love basketball players that play offense, that's also not the only part of the game. You know what I'm saying? So while I think Amen is a hell of a defender, I don't think he's better at basketball than Austin Reeves. You know
I love Jason Kidd. I love Jason Kidd. He ain't better than Magic. He not.
No, he's the closest too, but he's not better than Magic.
And Jason Kidd, I love Gary Payton. He ain't better than Magic. No, he's not.
Right.
Sorry.
So I just wanted to clear that up for anybody that doesn't understand simple basketball. I can love defense and still understand there's players better, like Steph Curry. You know, I think Steph Curry's better than Gary Payton. I think everybody else would agree, but we'll leave that there. Let's get to the lobby. Where we got? Who's first? We're gonna start this with my man Marcel.
What up?
Marcel, what's up?
What's going on, fellas?
What up?
Nothing much, man. How y'all doing?
What up?
Chilling,
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You hot?
Okay. Yeah. So I'm straight, man. I just got done. You know what I mean? I was at the gym earlier, but I had to come in because I had time, Chill. I had time.
You got time? I got time too.
Yeah. I know. But I'm just saying, because you were like, oh, you just typing in the comments. I was like, well, we can talk about it. And you did touch it a little bit with the Julius Randle thing. Me, when I comment, one, it's like, I don't mean no disrespect by it, right? When I'm saying like, no, I think you're just being a little too hard on Luka as compared to the grace you give with Julius Randle. Julius Randle has the same issues as Luka defensively and effort-wise, but doesn't have anywhere near the offensive ability. Not only that, he is a playoff dropper, like extremely bad in the playoffs. And Julius Randle for me is one of those players because if I know how I am as a person, I always want people who want to use their potential to the fullest extent, right?
Sure, I can get with that.
I got off at 1 a.m. last night.
Yep.
There was a private run that I went to at 8.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? That's what I want out of these players. And Julius Randle is 6'7", 270, 280?
6'9".
6'9". You know what I mean? Like he has intangibles and ability. Coming into the league, he had ability. Yep. But he decided to do all these tween size ups in the mid-range, which will end up in turnovers, shooting bad shot selections in the mid-range, not with his back to the basket off of post, off of shimmy, to then use his size, right? And that's my issue with him. Lack of effort, doesn't use his size, and he just doesn't seem like a smart player at times. Luka uses his size only on offense,
Yep.
He's okay. You know what I mean? Like if you try to bully him because he's a hefty guy, he got enough strength to be like, yeah, you're not going to back me down like that unless you're like Joel Embiid or Jokic.
Yep.
But he has that lack of defense, of course, because he doesn't give effort sometimes like Harden, right? Yep. However, he has such a profound impact on offense. It's absurd. His passing is out of this world, right? A lot of people don't. I think when you guys did that list, you had like, well, I think it was Jordan or somebody else saying like he's not that great of a passer. If you watch the games and
whoa, he said that.
Yeah.
He was like, no,
I know. He was, he was calling him a grenade, and I'm like, yo, if you watch the games, the amount of anticipation, the anticipation he has when he's using his body to navigate through the lane, to see somebody. See, they're going, I'm driving right. You know this, Ox and Show. You guys played the game. When I'm driving right, what's going to happen? The defense is going to collapse, right? As soon as you get close to the paint, the corner is going to be open. He knows that, but he's going to look somebody off. Oh, no, I'm going to swing it to the wing. So the wing defender goes to the wing rather than to the corner wide open.
Right.
Different things like that, anticipatory passing. I think Luka is in that same class as Jokic. Jokic just has a ring to me. And an MVP. I feel like last year was Jokic's chance, was Luka's chance to be the MVP, but they decided to give it to Jokic.
I want you to stay right there because what you just described, it sounds like you described a better player. And when we talk about players, we don't hold them to the same standard. So I can't hold Julius Randle to the same standard that I hold Luka. Luka is a much better player than Julius Randle. On top of that, we've seen Luka give effort on defense. I've seen Luka stand in front of guys and slow guys down, which would explain why when he doesn't do it, I'm like, my man, what's the problem? I've never really seen that from Julius Randle. So I don't hold him to that standard. It's like your kids. You know which one of your kids is the smartest. You ain't going to pick and say this is my favorite kid, but you hold them to different standards because you know that Charles is smarter than Barbara. You know that. So when I think about when I think about both Luka and Julius Randle, I hold Luka to a higher standard. One, because Luka is much better. Luka has shown that he's much better, and he's shown me more. And I don't think that Julius Randle gets the benefit of the doubt because of his limitations. I think that that's all people look at, and I think that that's the biggest problem with him. Sure, he's a playoff dropper, but what do you expect?
Yeah, for me, I agree. You definitely want to hold players to certain standards. Of course, Luka is. If you look at his playoff production and just the things that he's done with a good cast, but not a great cast, making it to the Western Conference Finals with Jalen Brunson, before Jalen Brunson is this Brunson, right, as the second best player, getting to the finals with Kyrie. Kevin Durant didn't do that. Granted, there's injuries and things like that, but Luka has had, and also Rose in the playoffs, had so many, I think he has, 2 playoff game winners? So, yes, you want to hold players to a different standard for sure. But my issue is when I see a player who has that potential. This is why it seems like I'm hard on the comments on Julius Randle. I mean, because I am. But I feel like he's not a not athlete. He's athletic. He's strong, right? He has intangible things that are gifts from God and from his hard work that he needs to rise up as well. And I feel like the criticism that I would have for like Jokic and Luka, yes, of course, they don't play defense a lot. They don't give a lot of effort. However, they have such an impact on offense. You just know what's going to come with that. If you're not giving me anything, because that's what playoff Julius Randle was giving you. He's not giving you anything. He's going from 25 points per game to 18 to 15. Well, and not only that, it's a percentage drop.
Well, he's giving you something. He's not completely like garbage.
Man,
where he shouldn't be on the floor. But Marcel, we got, unfortunately, I can talk to you for an hour about this, but
for sure,
keep moving, my man. Definitely, we gotta keep moving. But I appreciate
for sure.
No doubt.
All right, bro.
Yeah, y'all.
Yes, sir.
My bad, bro. Got you.
What up?
Yeah, let me see. Yeah. I think saying that he's just giving you nothing is a little bit of a stretch, but we'll see. We'll see this year. Let me see who we got. We got Geek back in the building. What's up, Geek?
Yeah, so since the last time I was here, my Cleveland Cavaliers
I'm so charged
the first team to clinch in the playoffs. We won the Echo Central Divisional Champ for the first time.
He already started. Ox, before we go any further, this dude has already started with the excuses already. If we're healthy, we'll beat the Cavs. Just so you know, Boston wasn't healthy last year. They didn't have their best big man, and they beat y'all. and by the way, Donovan Mitchell was in the lineup when y'all went down 3-1. So he already starting with
he wasn't.
Get that shit out of here.
He was in the line when we went down 2-1.
Get that shit out of here. You already starting with the excuses. Give me and on top of that, this dude got me up here talking about the Cavs like they not good. Like I'm the president of the Cavs fan club. But this dude right here, this dude up here got me talking about the Cavs like they disrespectful. Man, Travis, shut up, man, and stop. And by the way, stop stitching my videos because I listen to you talk basketball. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't. You have no idea what you're talking about. Get your ass out of here. and on top of that, Ox, this dude got the nerve to insult me, looking like somebody hit this nigga in the face with a pillowcase full of nickels. Brillo pad head ass dude.
Yeah, of course.
Talking about me. Get your ass out of here.
All right, Geek. Come back on Thursday, bro. You gonna have more action on Thursday, bro. I'm gonna let you.
He's not my Cavs winning. He just hating. Yeah.
Why am I hating?
Well, bring the Rockets. Don't let him talk to you like that, Geek. You better bring the Rockets.
He's hating because we're the best team in the league. We're the best team in the East. And he wish Boston was doing what we're doing right now. That's all.
I got a quick question for you, Trav. Where the belt at?
Hey.
There you go. I think we're done with this conversation. Where's the belt, sir? Where's the belt, sir? All I'm asking you, a simple question. Where's the belt, sir?
That's what you're saying, Tilton.
Where's the belt, sir? Where's the belt, sir? And by the way, make sure that you post this too, like you did with the last one. When you get 2 or 3 views on YouTube, make sure you post that too. And you do it on TikTok too. Make sure you do that. So absolutely. Once again, where your ass out of here?
We gonna stop that before it goes too far. Hey, Geek, come back on Thursday. Go back to the drawing boards. You know what I'm saying? Revamp. Come back and bring the Ruckus. Next time, don't let Chilltown press you like that, man. You better come up here and push your issue.
Ox, this dude on TikTok and he on YouTube talking about I'm a Cavs hater and I'm jealous of the I'm like, what? I'm the biggest Cavs guy up here. Nobody is a bigger Cavs guy than me. And because I don't think they can beat the Celtics 4 times in a week, I'm a hater. Give me a break.
Man, well, let's keep it moving, man. We keep it moving. Let me see who we got. Oh, we got my man Lee Mack back to talk some good ball. What's up, Lee Mack?
That guy must be related to Mike.
Fuck out of here.
He cuffs himself into a corner. That guy, that's hilarious. No, I was just wondering what you guys thought about Bronny's ceiling. Because like I heard like a report from Gilbert Arenas, and he was saying how he could, if he played 36 minutes, he'd be a top 5 Rookie of the Year candidate.
Let's chill out.
And I was like, let's not like shit on the kid, but let's also not like put him up on a pedestal. Like he's like, I think he's be a solid 6 man.
Well, he knocked down at 3 last night, and there was some people that was pretty excited about that. But you know,
I think he'd be a solid 6 man.
Last night, Ox, I'm glad he brought that up because last night was a perfect opportunity for him to get busy. Considering, right? Considering what was going on, right? We were shorthanded. We ain't really had that many people. In fact, that's why they called him up, if we're being honest. That's why they called him up. So last night was a perfect opportunity to get busy. He knocked down that 3. He missed one in the corner. But other than that, you know, it was pretty uneventful. So
he missed 2 in the corners, too. Like, my thing is, I'm not going to say Bronny played bad. What I'm going to say is he didn't necessarily capitalize on his opportunities. He had 1 in the right corner, 1 in the left corner. He missed 1 pretty good and then the air ball at the other one. And at that point, it was just time, all right, Bronny, it's time for you to go. Go sit it down. But, I mean, I don't think he had terrible minutes. Once again, I just think he could have done more with those minutes.
Good thing Stephen Naismith wasn't watching that game. That would have been
he was.
I'm 100% he was.
I just want to also show you guys, what
you got?
I have this album. It's a vinyl, and no one can seem to know what it is. It's a Mos Def vinyl with Nate Dogg.
Dope. Okay.
Do you know this one or? Because I found it in like a thrift store, and like people are like, I've never seen that before. It's got 2 songs, 1 instrumental and 1 with lyrics, 1 clean, 1 dirty. But it's a pretty good vinyl. I just didn't know if you guys had. Because it's from 2000 and like I was 10 years old. You guys might be a little older. You might not.
Oh yeah, that's that. Oh, that track was super dope. Oh no.
Yeah.
Yo, that song is dope. Yeah.
Yeah, I found it. Like,
I remember that.
It's like this might be worth something there because like I know Nate Dogg, I know Mos Def, the other guy Pharaoh Monch, M-O-N-C-H. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Yep.
Okay.
For sure.
Right on, right on.
Good
All right,
boys.
Lee Mac. Yep.
Good to talk to you, brother. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, wait a second, Lee Mac. If you was 10 in 2000, we about the same age. I ain't too. But anyways,
you ain't that far off from Ox. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let me see who else we got here. Oh, my man, big fan Breezy. What's up, Breeze?
Is Brooklyn in the house without a doubt? I'm the rapidly bout.
Yeah, I know you got some old mixtapes with Shaq, man. I know you fronting on us, chill, man.
I'm the rapper with clout. Everybody rap about. Check me out. Rhymes I bust them. Problems with my wife. Don't discuss
them. Yo, I'm rooting for both of y'all. I'm rooting for both of y'all in this PCL tournament. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to ask Chill, do you think the nostalgia of a team drafting a player and just staying with the team their whole career it's done with, it's over? Or maybe we see it with Jokic, maybe we see it with Giannis, maybe we see it with Shea, or is it just over with?
It might be, depending on how long this collective bargaining agreement stands. Because if this collective bargaining agreement stands, it's going to be hard to hold on to guys for that long because the money's so different now. If the money wasn't what it was, it would just be hard to hold on to guys like you did in the past.
But is the NBA more excited with these trades? Like with Luka getting traded to the Lakers, that was very exciting. I'm not gonna lie. Is it more exciting to see that?
Breeze, I ain't gonna lie. I think that trade really kind of brought a lot of life back into the NBA. As far as just like from a fan standpoint, when I tell you, I was just going around the city. I'm talking about. I had an old lady stop me and ask me about it. Like, I don't know about basketball. What's the big deal with this Luka Doncic thing? And like, who is Anthony? I'm just like, oh, like, all right. So, I tried to run it down to her real quick. Obviously, I told her the Mavericks won the trade, but that's that. I think it really brought some excitement back to the season.
Now, I just wanted to ask that. I know I'm on a heater right now. I'm enjoying the show, man. Great show, guys.
Good to talk to you, Breeze.
Breeze, make sure you pull up tonight. Tonight,
of course.
PCL. Tomorrow, PCL is going down.
Facts, all facts.
All right, bro. Josh, I wasn't lying to the old lady. I was just telling her what I thought was the truth.
I don't mean it's a lie.
Who we got? Oh, my man, Classic. What's up, fam?
Yo, what up, guys?
What's up, brother?
Yo, yeah, real quick. I want to talk about the Celtics and the Nuggets, but with the Celtics, man, we needed that game from Jrue Holiday last night, man. That was critical.
Huge.
That was major, man. To see him play aggressive like that, man, that's gonna take us a long way when we get to the playoffs. That's the Jrue Holiday that I became a fan of. Not this Jrue Holiday that when he gets to the paint, he's passing up shots. He's afraid to shoot a step back three. Like, we need Jrue Holiday to be aggressive because that's what makes the Celtics quote unquote.
Hey, just so you know, Classic, that's your baby telling you that you're the same one who told me a couple of days ago that you wanted Jrue Holiday out the lineup.
Yeah,
that's your baby telling you that.
She's calling me out on that.
Yes,
right
she
now.
is calling you out on that. Like, Dad, make sure you remember. Make sure you remember, Dad, that you told him a couple of days ago that Jrue Holiday should be out the lineup. So
that was just on Thursday too. Day before yesterday.
Yes, that's your baby telling you that. Dad, don't forget you didn't say that about him. So
Yeah, we needed that.
He was huge yesterday. He was 100%. He was huge yesterday. I mean, Jason Tatum, I felt like that was a really good performance. I thought they did a great job on Bam yesterday too. I do. I think they did a great job defensively on Bam, holding him to only 9 points, keeping him out the paint, making him more of a primary passer. Because I did watch that Heat game yesterday. That was a damn good game. Classic. I think that people, as good as Oklahoma City is, right, as good as Cleveland is, I think people forget where the belt is. Like they just talk like it's a foregone conclusion. Like, this is where the belt is. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, they really are. They really are forgetting, and I think it's the threes, man. Like, people don't respect how Boston plays. But in regards to the Nuggets, man, I was really wanting to lose so bad last night, and then right when that last possession, that 2-man game with Jokic, they don't call moving screens on Jokic no more because he's the MVP. It's disgusting, man. But I just hate these narratives that, like, they saying that, oh, Jokic, he should be the MVP because he's the best floor raiser right now. And I think that this Denver Nuggets team, they have one of the top rosters in the league. And I just don't like that narrative. And like I told you before, Chill, I think if you put Tatum on this Nuggets team, I think that those players would play better, and I think the Nuggets would easily be either the first seed or the second team, or the second seed if you put Tatum on the Nuggets instead of Jokic, because I think that Tatum would speed up the pace, and it would allow them to play faster because they got a bunch of athletes on that team. They got Bron, they got Watson, and I think Jokic, it just slows them down, and it's making them like get out of rhythm.
So this what I'm saying. This is what I'll say to you, Classic. I'm not sure about the whole they be better with Jason Tatum, but yo, go get with your baby, because it sound like she wants some attention. That's what it sounds like.
I'm gonna get it to her later.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon, brother. Yeah.
All right. Oh man. Classic never lets us down.
He always
never lets us down.
Always.
So let's get it. Jason Tatum, did he wait? I just want to make sure I heard him correctly. So he's saying that if they had Jason Tatum instead of Jokic, they'll be a better overall basketball team?
Not a better overall basketball team. I'll say the number 1 seed in the West. They better than Oklahoma City. Yeah, the number 1 in the West. That's what he just said. Mm-hmm. Now, this is a reporter coming to you with the tape deck and saying that Dennis Rodman just said that Larry Bird, the only reason why he is who he is because he's white. And if he was black, he would be just a regular old basketball player. How you feel about that?
No, that's just blast. Not a fact. That's 100% a lie. White boy, you got game like that. You one of them ones. What I'm saying is it sounds wild, but I don't hate that take. I don't know if it's true. I'm not gonna say I agree, but I just don't hate that take from where he's coming from. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Mm-hmm. Chill. You know what? I want to get into something. I seen something in the chat. We were talking about Drew Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about Brandon Jennings real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I am so happy that Brandon Jennings has entered this space. I am so happy that Brandon Jennings has decided to enter this space of internet basketball talk, playback, YouTube, getting on with Gil's Arena, whatever you call it. This is the energy that I've been waiting for, and this is what we needed. We needed more ex-NBA guys that are still moving around, still can play some ball, that are letting dudes know, that are calling them out. First things first, the other night he said that I've always been better than Drew Holiday. Now, I know to a lot of people.
I hate to interrupt you, but I want you to keep going. Hence the term. Did you say always? Like I didn't become. Damn. So you ain't never been better than me ever. That's what you're telling me.
And I know a lot of people hated that comment, and I understand why people hated that comment, because since for the past probably 7 years, 8 years, I guess 7, 8 years. I mean, it's been clearly Drew Holiday he had a much better career than Brandon Jennings. But we got to talk about why Brandon Jennings is saying this. And you had to be there. B. Jennings was always that guy. Drew Holiday has always been great. He still is great. But I'm not mad at Brandon Jennings for saying what he said. These are two guys I've seen in person, been on the court with Drew. He's amazing. These dudes were top-notch guys. I'm just happy that B. Jennings is speaking his truth. And the next thing he said was he wants it with anybody. He called out Jeff Teague, called out Lou Will, everybody. He said, I'm sick of this shit. I want it with everybody. And I just love that energy from B. Jennings personally. This is I think this is what this space needs, Chill. Is more internet hoopers. Because with all due respect, at this point now, you're an internet hooper. I want to see more of this type of talk. I want these guys to start getting on the court together. All these types of things, man. I just want to just speak on that real quick and say how happy I am that we got a real one like B. Jennings on these type of platforms talking that talk.
I can get with that. I just know you, Ox. I know you Ox want the ruckus. Ox want the ruckus. So I mean, I can get with that, no doubt. I can get with it.
Yeah, so I don't know what it'll turn into. I don't know if we're gonna start getting some games and whatnot, but I sure hope so. And Jeff Teague, go get that fade. Yeah, go get that. Well, and with that being said, like I understand Drew Holiday's had a much better NBA career than Brandon Jennings and all that. I'm just saying there's a reason why Brandon Jennings is saying that. A lot. I don't know the age of everybody here in the chat and whatnot, but I'm the same age as those guys. And, so I played in these top AAU teams, and I was around these guys. Played against Drew Holiday when he played for Pump and Run. I'm saying been in the same tournaments with B. Jennings. Never got to play against him, but I've seen these dudes from back when we were 16, 15, 17 years old, and everybody knows B. Jennings was always that guy, even up to his first couple before the Achilles injury. Brandon Jennings was better than Drew Holiday.
Of course, of course, we've seen players that are doing something, and we're like, yo, I'm better than him. I was better than him. It's just that he's there now. I understand. That's just from a competitor and from a basketball standpoint. Brandon Jennings is looking at Drew Holiday and the success that Drew Holiday has had. I can appreciate that. You ain't nicer than me though. You're not nicer than me. That's where you look. And I can appreciate it. Sure.
Yeah. Shout out to them though. Let's get to some of these super chats.
Yes, sir.
And you know what? I'm gonna start with. No, I'm not. We're gonna start with Melo Williams. If Dyson Daniels is able to get 250 steals this season, give him the DPOY or MIP. Something he's improved more than Cade. Score jumping is there.
Scoring jump is there. Yeah, I can agree with that. I can definitely. Well, he came out of nowhere for me. I'm already on record saying that I was paying more attention to Herb Jones than I was Dyson Daniels. I didn't have any idea that he was this good as a defender. You guys know it, but Melo, you know where I'm at with the defensive player of the year. I think it goes to Evan Mobley. I think he affects his unit more defensively than what Dyson Daniels does.
Julius Charles became a YouTube member. Shout out to you, Julius. Thanks for being here, bro. Thanks for being here. MP13. Is there a reason playoff career stats are not included in totals? I didn't realize that Steph is at almost 5K threes if you include the playoffs.
Yes.
Thank you.
I think it's because it's two different seasons. That's why the postseason is different than the regular season. That's why they don't include both of them.
I just don't agree with that. I just hate that. It's like I feel like if I've been on long playoff runs, I deserve to, to be credited for that. Like it's not my fault that you didn't make it to the second, third round of the playoffs. I did for 9, 10, 11 years of my career. Those stats should count. You know what I'm saying? For everybody.
Right.
Random guy speaks. It's been a long time, OG and Ox. Just showing love.
Thanks, Random. Good to see you, brother.
Right on, brother. Right on. Cowboy Bob. That's why Tibbs played the most minutes for his best players. The best experience is in game. When you look back, you should leave it all on the court.
I can get with that. Go New York, go. I can definitely get with that, Bob. Yes, I can.
Cowboy Bob with another one. Lakers versus Denver was a glory road type game. 8 players only.
Yeah. It was a game that Denver walked into thinking like, yo, we should just serve these dudes. And you found out that wasn't the case. Way better game than what we thought it was. Way better.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Chill. I've spoken this before. And I love that movie. Glory Road is one of my favorite sports movies. But I'm gonna tell you like this, Chill. If I was one of those European American players, I would have been pissed. Like, no way. I would like. I respect everything y'all gone through, the trials and tribulations. I'm proud of you for being here. But coach, I'm playing. You got me. I'm playing. Yeah. I don't care about nothing.
That I'm playing.
Oh, I would have been pissed. I would have started a riot. Like, nope, we're not doing this. Oh man. My man D Bell. Good luck in the PCL. Pulling for both of you. Salute, fellas. I'll be tuned in. Shout out to you, D Bell. Thanks, bro. For any of y'all that don't know what D Bell's talking about, make sure you're there tonight. The PCL kicks off today. Actually, kicks off here in about about 3.5 hours. It kicks off today. Y'all make sure to be there. Round of 32 starts today. Don't miss it. Come show some love, y'all. Come show some love. Let's see where we at. Yeah, we got from context clues. Ox and Chill, what was your go-to move when y'all were playing basketball? And do y'all think Steph can hit 5K threes?
I think he can get close to 5K threes. I'm not sure if he's going to hit it, but I think he can get close to 5. He already had 4,000. That's for another 5 years. He got to give me 200 threes a year for the next 5 years. I'm not sure if he could do that, but I think he can get close to it. No doubt about it. And this dude name is Gary Williams. We used to call him Tutu. Tutu had that Allen Iverson left to right cross, and he put it on me. The first time I stopped him in the middle of the game, Ox, and I was like, you got to show me that. Because that shit is dangerous. And I ended up putting that in my game. And I ended up being able to do it with both the left and the right hand. So I had that in my game.
Yeah, my go-to move has always been just open, catch the ball mid, like mid post, open up to the right, one bounce, spin back to the left, jump hook or layup, dunk, whatever. Just to open up. I like that move. Rip through. It's real quick and efficient, effective.
Word.
My man Breezy says, I am going to recap the PCL. Good luck, Big Ox and Chill. CT had 10 assists last game. Chill. Is he future combo guard for the Nets? Big Ox, Jordy F, a W coach.
Maybe. But I can't really talk about the Nets until you get that franchise player, though. I think that once you get that franchise player and we can build around him, then we can talk. But Thomas has always been a bucket getter. I think him passing, I think that's just extra.
Teflon, I see you in the chat, bro. Like I come through there. I'm gonna cock back and touch my back and dunk on you, bro.
Teflon, I'm specifically getting the ball to Ox. I'm going to him just off the strength that you saying that you blocking it at the rim. I'm 100% getting to the rim so I can get the ball to Ox so he can throw you through the bucket. 100%.
I'm talking about belly button in your face.
Yes. Throwing it. And after he punching on you, I'm gonna let you know about it. Yeah, that was on you.
And we got another super chat from Andrew G. PCL tomorrow is going to be crazy. Let's go, Mike. Do it for the people. By the way, Banner 19 incoming. Celtics, the greatest franchise. L. Ox.
L. Andrew. That's what I said. L. Andrew. L. Goofy.
Oh, man. Yo, it's Zamze. My knees hurt, but I still come through there. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. All it means is I'm gonna be in pain for about a week or so and gotta ice them, but I still jumped. Oh man, but that's enough about me and my tore up knees. Let's get out of here, Chill. I've been getting text messages from Claire for the past 2.5 minutes.
I got mine right here. She already told me, like, so I'm getting this from her right.
Appreciate everybody that came through and watched the show. Appreciate everybody that clicked on the link and brought some ruckus. Geek, I'm gonna need you to go back to the drawing board, come back on Thursday and bring the ruckus. Don't let Chill pack you up like that. You want to stitch his videos? Stitch his videos. You want to call him a Cav hater? Call him a Cav hater. But bring the ruckus. Okay, bring the ruckus, Geek. Don't get packed up like that anymore. I won't save you again. But we're out of here. We'll see you here really soon on the PCL. Sir. I want all 350 of y'all that are here still at this minute to be here in 3 hours for the PCL. It's going down. First round of 32 starts today. You will have the best 32 debaters on YouTube all in one place. Don't miss it. Be there or be square.
Until then, put on the suit. Drink water. Don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. When last time you talk to your mother? Call your mother. And if you're ever in the Portland area and you had too much to drink, yo, hit my man up. He ain't gonna leave you out there. We will see you guys soon. But until then, take it light. But take it. Absolutely, man. It was good to see you guys today.
No doubt. It was. Hell of a show today, y'all. Appreciate all of y'all. We'll see y'all next time, man. Drink some water. Never drink and drive, y'all.
Don't do that. Don't. No doubt. So.